This podcast is brought to you by niggas who are generally concerned with most of the dumb shit that's going on right now. By the way, I'm your host, Billy Cash, aka Cole, and welcome to Social Climate.
Okay. Yeah, he's fired the one on air.
Yeah.
And then the other one, he said he's allowing him to come back long as he changes his views.
Yes.
So the podcast is still going to move on.
Yes.
He's just getting new co-hosts.
Yes, he's getting new co-hosts. By the way,
is that what Spec is?
New co-hosts that if they decided to come would be stepping into not only a toxic work environment, a work environment where you get no respect at all from the person that employs you. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the example that you just saw. Here's the question of the day. How does it make sense to you to have such strong actions against the people that were with you as you built the brand that you now stand on and demand respect for? This brand that has allowed you to not only succeed and have success has been accompanied by your partners. Work for hires maybe, but they're your partners.
I got something to say.
Please.
So while I agree with you, we never ask you what you got coming in. Mm-hmm. And if we did, we know you wouldn't fire us, but would you feel some type of way about that?
No, which is why I open up the dialogue all the time. You guys don't ask because you're always in the know. Like there's never a dark circle or a door that can't be opened. Like, I think the one thing that we've done very well, and I'll say this on air, I'll give this information for other people that are doing things with their friends, with their brothers, whomever, in business. A lot of these relationships get messed up when the relationship and business kind of cross lines. And the one thing that I've always done to try to prevent that to the best of my ability, and I think I've done a great job so far, is give the information. Give the information, give the ins and outs so there's understanding. And if there are questions, we table them as partners, as a group, because no matter what, the machine is our machine. Regardless of my name or not, it's our machine. And I would never make my guys feel as if it wasn't. So for the life of me, this isn't a petty moment. This is a real vocal moment that I'm just taking the opportunity to make sure I say. I've witnessed this man be vocal about so much on behalf of me, my career, my moves, and everything. And I don't care. I shut up. I don't give a fuck. This is what it is. You guys know I'm no stranger to negativity. I don't care about that. But I actually was a supporter of the progression of him and his podcast. From afar. I'm a fan of your growth. I'm a fan of what you're doing and the conversation behind it. That's dope. Yo, he's not doing business here. He wants to own it. He wants control. It's dope. To see you publicly shit on the guys that was with you, that's an example of poor leadership. That's an example of why you are where you are. This is why. Here's the answer. Point blank. You want to be by yourself. You want to be King Dingaling.
Oh.
You can't do that. You can't do that. Wealth should be shared, not owned. Facts. So this is a shout out, man, to Rory and Maul. You guys were dope as fuck at that job. Once again, I was a fan of the fucking podcast. It's a sad day to see this shit end when you guys were on your way to what seemed to be higher levels of success. I don't sit up here and promote the negativity. Wish there was a world where you can work it out, but you need a good fucking leader that understands it's not just him. I don't think Joe has that.
Damn.
Hopefully they didn't just buy some shit.
Jesus.
That stuff. You got to get that stuff back. That's fucked up, man.
Oh, nah, you say if they got stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. Bad news if they just got some new stuff.
Can't keep no new stuff. Can't keep no stuff.
I'm glad you brought this up though, Kev. Talking about sharing the wealth and all of those things.
Let's keep it on track for a second now before we get into it. No, but before we get into it, we should stay on track. I think it's important to stay on track. I also don't like the firing on air.
Well, it's a podcast, so it wasn't live, right? I mean,
no, he was on air. He went on a little rant and basically told him that because he wasn't there, he was in breach, and then he was fired as of that moment.
There's a chair there. There was an empty chair. And he pointed to the chair.
I mean, what is that?
Could there have been some other issues behind the scenes that we didn't know about?
If there were, do you do that on air? We've had tons of issues off scene. Sometimes we almost went in the direction of too far on radio, caught ourselves, stopped ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't for this. We don't do this. We'll talk about it off. Like, what part of the game is that? I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Share a lot on the radio, though. I've never listened to his podcast, but do they air out a lot of their own business on the podcast? So then,
dude, they have a really good podcast, man.
Okay,
they have a really good podcast. They got great chemistry. They were good. I can't even front. They were fucking good. Like, I don't have anything negative that I can say about the flow of their podcast, the chemistry, the separation of voices. It was a good fucking podcast. It's just fucked up for it to come to an end that way.
Click like and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification button. Yeah.